because otherwise it's really a bummer. I have been speaking for 20 minutes and it seems like everything that I said was wasted and could not be heard. So if this works right, could you please let me know in a comment or something? Just write a comment on Twitter or wherever and let me know that this works. This is what you get when you deal with live situations, I guess. So let me see if I can hear myself. I'm gonna open this on my phone because this is a great way to monitor what's going on. And if it still doesn't work, then I'm gonna be very upset. You know, it's terrible to talk. So it works on my phone. It works very well, I can hear myself. I'm very sorry if you could not hear myself before this. I guess it's fixed now. So let's get back. So I'm in the second dungeon in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And wait, I should be also retweeting this, so give me 5 seconds tops. Actually, it's a little more than 5 seconds because it's not loading. La 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 la, I should be faster than this. But I have one account, so my Bitcoin Takeover account, I use it on my phone, and my main account, I use it on my computer. I try not to mix them. So, hello everyone who's watching this. I'm Vlad, and this is This Week on BitcoinTakeover.com. I've had another attempt to do this 20 minutes ago, and it seems like the audio was terrible, and I could not be heard. And that really sucks. I had to reboot my computer, but now I'm back and I'm determined to act as if nothing had happened and I can reproduce the same 20-minute speech that I said 20 minutes ago. So yeah, let me fix my YouTube streaming. Everything is fine. I got a confirmation, like it should have been from the very beginning. So, as I said, this is the second dungeon in The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. I'm in the opposite world, or the one that you go to when you use the mirror. I don't know much about the story, I haven't read the game manual, and... Okay, just be patient with me, because when I talk about Bitcoin, I get so carried away that I don't pay much attention to what's going on in the game. But I'm in this situation where I am in the second dungeon and I have moved past these guards and I have to go up. I have to find a key and make my way inside of this dungeon. And as I mentioned, let me get to the OBS screen and move the YouTube chat, because if you want to talk with me, just go on the Bitcoin Takeover YouTube channel and you're going to see this live stream, and I'm going to look at all the comments and try to be responsive. I've moved the comment section on the side of my screen and I'm gonna keep an eye on it. And the first article that I published this week is called Explaining the Lightning Network, so even a 10-year-old can understand it. And I feel like this kind of education is necessary because lots of hardcore Bitcoiners are avoiding the Lightning Network, even though it's a very good second layer. It's been around for a long time. It has been tested to a great extent. There is academic research about it. There are lots of reasons for you to get on it, including privacy and better scalability, and momentary you also have lower fees, but that's not the point. But the fact that you get instant transactions that can reach and match the level of scalability that Visa offers, and you can do it with Bitcoin, I think that's massive. And not enough people are getting on the Lightning Network right now, possibly because they still regard Bitcoin as a savings mechanism, like a technology which allows them to put money aside and never spend it. And Lightning does the exact opposite by allowing you to spend some of your money. So I suppose that there is this conflict of understanding. But in order for Bitcoin to become actual money, you need to make it easy to send and make payments. And I disagree that you should not spend any bitcoins, even though historically speaking, if you held onto your coins for a longer time, you would have been better off than spending it. So you, in terms of fiat currency, you would get rich if you held onto your bitcoins as opposed to spending it. Okay, so what do I do with this? Is this like a lever? Do I pull it? Okay, so it moves. This is good to know. I've moved it. I've pushed it actually. And there's water flowing, which allows me to get to the other side, I think. No, it doesn't. Anyway, the problem with Lightning Network adoption is that not enough people understand how it works and what it's supposed to be. And I think that the best analogy that I can think of, possibly, is that Lightning nodes or participants to the Lightning Network are like islands, and they need to connect to one another with roads that they build. So opening channels with nodes is like building roads. Oh, I lost so early on. So let me rewind to this point where I had a fuller health bar. So I'm gonna need to be more cautious. It's dangerous out there. This is the kingdom of Hyrule. It's wild. You have no safety net, you have no insurance, you have nothing. You're supposed to handle this by yourself and go out there like a real man, like a real Hyrule Knight or whatever Link is supposed to be. So, as I was saying, the Lightning Network is very innovative, it's really great, and there are lots of reasons to use it, but unfortunately not many people use it. And right now we are still in the phase where we are building some infrastructure for it, so opening channels with each other to decentralize the network, which is like building roads because you're creating alternative routes to get to a payment point. If I want to make a payment to a business, let's say that I want to buy a new iPhone, I guess, that's fashionable, so let me use that example. Then I can open a channel with Apple that is an alternative, or else I can connect to somebody who already is connected to Apple. And the fact that there are some intermediaries who are making this transaction faster and cheaper means that I'm going to pay a minimal routing fee to these intermediaries who are making the transaction happen. Plus, if I use these intermediaries, I also benefit from a lot of privacy. So it's a win-win kind of situation. It's a lot more inexpensive than using Bitcoin. It's faster, you get instant settlements. Oh, I'm gonna die. I need to change the weapon. You get instant settlements, and I think that, you know, there's this commentary about the Lightning Network being so complicated that you need a degree in computer science to use it. It's not true, obviously, otherwise there would not be thousands of users and independent nodes who are joining. And in the last, I think, few weeks there have been thousands of new nodes that were added to the network, including mine, which got added last month. And I think there's a lot of interesting development, and the fact that you get to do everything that you can do with Ethereum and other alternative networks, but with a currency that's more solid and more robust and has a better network and is more likely to get adopted like Bitcoin. This is huge, and we should put some effort into this. It's always hard for Bitcoiners to adopt something new, and some of them may be more reluctant to make spendings, but at the same time it helps the network, and there are cases when you're supposed to be spending your money. Okay, so I need a big key for this one. Like, for example, when you order a hardware wallet to secure your Bitcoins, it's a lot better to spend Bitcoins to purchase it, because there's not going to be any record which goes to your bank about that spending that you have made. So it's good to have more financial privacy, and for that, I think that it's a lot better to use BTC as opposed to something else, like your credit card or something. And I know that there are advocates out there who will say that it's a better idea to save your Bitcoin and spend with your credit card, but it depends on the purpose and the use case. You can't expect to have all of the same results all the time, and basically all of your purchases to have the same incentives. You must figure out what you need and why you need more privacy for your spendings. And compared to your credit card, obviously there's a lot more privacy when you spend with BTC. Okay, so now I need to move fast and push this and make the water flow. I think that this dungeon is all about water. And what I appreciate about it is that it's not kind of the same as the other ones. So there is some ingenuity in the level design. I cannot pull this. Okay, so this is how it works. You're supposed to be running towards it to push it. Have you ever heard of the Netflix-like platform and crypto coin that the Romanian politician Dan Diaconescu has launched? Yes, what do you think about it? It's not going to succeed on the long term, so maybe that it's a good way for him to make some quick money and flex a new technology that most likely doesn't really understand, but it needs to build a network, so it's very hard to convince somebody to use a new form of money. We use Bitcoin today because it has the network effect and it also had the Immaculate Conception. So the creators of Bitcoin, or the creator, I'm not sure yet, nobody knows exactly, but they basically allowed the network to become decentralized by stepping away, and there is no other project that tries to be money and can make the same claims about decentralization. All of them have founders who are still active and can manipulate the currency, and that's not what money should be like. You should not have one party who can basically simultaneously be a single point of failure and at the same time be in charge of manipulating the monetary policy. That's one of the reasons why Bitcoin got invented, to eliminate trust, or at least minimize it. That's also a debate which happens within the community, whether or not it's a trust minimization technology or a trust elimination technology. But you should not trust in humans. I think that's kind of the point of this invention. You should not have to go to some sort of chancellor or governor of the bank and ask questions about what's going to happen and pressure them into issuing more units of the currency. It should only be governed by rules that cannot be changed by humans and are set in stone. And that's why people use Bitcoin today, and they trust that there will never be more than 21 million coins. There is a monetary policy that has been followed according to the plan from the very beginning. And the fact that nobody was able to print more coins, even though there might have been demand, there might have been pressure from some entities to print more Bitcoins. And the fact that there was none and nobody participated in this supply compromising event means that the currency still retains its value. It's supposed to be disinflationary for the first 100 and something years, and after that it becomes completely deflationary, meaning that you're going to have a fixed supply and people are going to have to deal with that and figure out ways to transact and make economic trades with a currency which cannot be inflated. You cannot create more of it. That's one of the main purposes of Bitcoin. You have 21 million coins, you have 100 million units in each of these coins, you have to figure out how to use it from that point onwards. There's enough subdivisions for everyone around the world to do economic activities. But you know, it's easy for people to launch shitcoins. You just copy the code from a different project, you give it a name, and you convince people to use it for some purpose. But that's not going to be sustainable. It takes a lot of time and effort for people to accept a different kind of money. Like, let's say that in this live stream, we come up with a brilliant idea for a new dollar, and we say, let's use it among ourselves and accept that this is the better form of money. But how do you convince the person who's selling you a loaf of bread or milk or is going to cut your hair, you know, provide basic services, and how do you convince them to use your money, to accept it? I mean, you're going to say, okay, this can go up in valuation in time. So if you use it, it might be worth more in fiat currency, in the national currency in the coming years. But that's still not a good way to convince someone to hold a currency and use it on the long term. It just means that they're going to speculate with it. And I'm not saying that there's something wrong with speculation, but it's still not a good form of money. It's not stable, it's not predictable. You're supposed to have some good fundamentals for people to accept that the money that you're giving to them has some kind of value. Otherwise, just the promise that it's going to perform in a certain way on the market on the short term, that's not good enough to have good money. You have to think of gold, which I think is the oldest form of currency that we have used, and it's still used as money today, not necessarily to spend it, because you cannot go to a store and say I'm going to pay with my gold bar, but you can use it to make savings and to also bet against governmental inflation. Oh, I don't want to get hit here, so let me rewind. I'm still trying to get back the powers of the Master Sword, so this means that I must compromise my immutability. I fell through a hole, so let's see where this gets me. Oh, this was pointless. This was so damn pointless. Like, I got this rupee, but right now I'm supposed to backtrack and go back to that place where I came, so I also messed up with this. So no, this was pointless. I don't want to do this. Let me get back. I don't want to fall down this rabbit hole. How about this one? It seems like it's a better choice. And once again, I don't want to get hit. I want to get back the Master Sword power. This looks more promising. So can I nail these with a hammer? No, I can't. So are you for real? Like, there's a coin that's called Crypto Dan? Let me look it up. That's kind of crazy, but I wouldn't be surprised. Crypto Dan. I had no idea that he was out of jail. Oh yeah, so it seems like he launched a cryptocurrency and the streaming service. That's insane. Okay. So what do people do after they come out of jail? I guess they try to scam people with an inferior form of money that nobody will be using. I mean, I'm not saying that nobody will be speculating on it on some sort of market, but still. It's not like he's going to become the next Bitcoin inventor or something. He's just trying to fool some people to buy into his coin. The utility is dubious at best. You can only use that for one purpose. Like, can you think of a form of money that can only be used for one purpose? Like a token, like Chuck E. Cheese tokens when you go to that pizza place, and like tickets from the arcade machines. It's kind of pointless, and I don't think that he's going to compete with Netflix. Like, really compete. Stand a chance on the market. Let me get back to this point because this was my best moment in terms of health bar. But I don't know what I should be doing here. There are two paths I can take. I can fall down this hole. And when I get here, I take the ruby, but I'm supposed to be raising the water level, I think. So I don't know how I can do that. I'm not even sure why I'm playing this game every week, because I suck so much. I'm not the most skilled player, but I've always wanted to beat Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past, even if I'm cheating, just to go through the whole level design and story. Even arcade machine tickets are more useful than crypto dance. I agree with that. I mean, it's silly to think that he's going to build the next world currency or something, or even a national currency. He's just trying to make a quick buck with something that maybe he found out and figured out to some extent, hired some sort of computer geek to do it for him, and he's trying to capitalize on his fame for the sake of launching a shitcoin. I gotta look into the fundamentals because I'm sure that he did not invent something new, so it's most likely a copy of something else. And I assume that it's an ERC20 token because these are the easiest to deploy. You just copy the code from another project and there you have it. So okay, I'm supposed to find some sort of button that I press and is going to lower these stakes. I mean, just like you said, I don't see any reason to pay for this platform, and moreover, with his own currency, which just makes it much more useless than it already is. I remember I went to a conference in 2019 in Paris, and there was this guy who had a very nice streaming platform for indie movie makers. And that looked very cool, like he convinced lots of content producers to allow him to stream the content on his platform, but you could only buy a subscription to that platform with the shitcoin that he created. And I felt like there was so much wasted potential. Like, I've asked him, why don't you use Bitcoin? Because there are so many people worldwide who are into Bitcoin, and you might have better chances to actually get subscribers. And he was like, no, I just want people to buy my coin and use it for this. And to me it felt strange, like there was so much that he could do with that streaming project, but he was just stubborn about using his own shitcoin, and I haven't heard about it since, so it's not like he became successful or anything. If it was a successful platform, I guess he would have succeeded because of the content and because it allowed anyone to pay. I guess most people who are into streaming platforms, they have a credit card and they might have a quick way to buy Bitcoin. But he did not even have proper support. Like, it's hard to make one of these shitcoins universally available to everyone. You need to have exchanges that allow people to buy and sell very fast. And unless you follow all of these steps to have at least some proper support from vendors or markets that allow people to exchange maybe bitcoins for your shitcoin so that they can access that streaming platform. I mean, I don't see how it can catch on if you have so many barriers to onboarding users. It should be as fast as possible, but when you make it exclusive to a form of money, you're telling people that they cannot use your platform unless they buy a shitcoin, which is not the ideal way of going forward. So I suppose that this is just an excuse sometimes when you have a shitcoin which can only be used for one purpose, and that's an excuse to launch a shitcoin. You're going to say that it has a utility. The utility is questionable and is not going to work on the long term. But it's an alibi. You can say, yeah, but you know, it can be used for this. How many people actually use it for that? Like 10 or something? Let me rewind. I'm not happy that I got hit. But it's a good excuse to have something to speculate on markets. So you have that shitcoin which people can buy and sell on some exchanges. Maybe that you are the biggest holder of the shitcoin and you have the biggest wallet on the network. If you convince enough people to buy it, you can sell your bags and dump on them. And that's not very nice, but it's what usually happens with the shitcoins, because they have central points of failure. They have someone who owns the largest amount. Boing, this is the hook shot. It extends and contracts, and boing, it can grapple many things. So now I have the hook that I can use to go to different platforms. And I got a key, and I need something that I can hang on to. Can I shoot diagonally? No, I can't. I mean, this is cool, but I need to get back to fighting with these monsters down there. I'm not happy. And I need 2 more hearts, and I'm gonna be able to once again shoot not lasers, but stuff from my sword. I'm not even sure what that is. What does Link shoot from his Master Sword? I suppose that's a good question. Anyway, I suppose that this is the best season to launch a shitcoin for whatever reason. You can find a bad excuse like I provide a streaming service, and then you're gonna get rich off of people who invest in your Ponzi. Which I think is very characteristic for somebody like Dan Diaconescu. In case you're not aware, he was kind of the Romanian Alex Jones, and he went to jail because he tried to scam the government into selling to him a hydroelectric power plant. He basically went and announced that he was buying it, but he never brought the money for it, and he was charged for fraud. It's like participating on some sort of bidding situation, bidding for something, and then when you're supposed to bring the money, you just shrug it off and act like I never had the money in the first place, but it was great publicity for myself. That's what happened with him, and he went to jail, and now he's back and he's launching a shitcoin. And he claims that is for some streaming service. It's a good excuse to launch a shitcoin, I guess. You say that you're creating a streaming service. Okay, so I cannot get back here because there's water. So I'm going to need to... F. I'm gonna need to figure out how to actually unlock that part of the dungeon. And I assume that everything is happening here. I need to place the statue on the button. So I'm not sure how we got to that discussion about celebrities or pseudo-celebrities launching their own shitcoins, but I guess it's useful to talk about it because it's going to become a lot more common with people trying to capitalize on their following or followers and try to make a quick buck. Just like Elon Musk, like I feel like he's not much different with the fact that he promotes Dogecoin, which hasn't even had proper development in a few years. I'm not saying that it's the worst shitcoin out there. Actually, Dogecoin has a few years of development and has been added to lots of exchanges, so at least you find lots of places that accept it as a currency that you trade. But at the same time, there is no reason for him to promote it outside of the fact that he's most likely trying to get his friends rich. If you have insider knowledge about a tweet that Elon Musk is going to put out, you can basically manipulate the market, buy before everyone else and then sell when you're pretty sure that there's a market top. It's shitty behavior. Like, I feel like people should be more responsible and know better than this. But this is how it goes. So I cannot push this, I guess. I need to come from the other side and push it towards me. It's kind of a pity and it's kind of gimmicky that I cannot just pull this towards me. But I'm gonna have to find another way to get here. So it's most likely that door, but how do I get there? Well, let's see. Maybe if I go down. I hope that there's a button or something. How do I open this? Maybe that when I move the statue, it also opens this door. So what I do on one side is symmetric to the other. This is what I like about these dungeons, they keep you guessing. You're never sure what's going on. You have to use your brain. Even though I'm pretty sure that there are 10-year-old kids who beat this game and are so much better than me. Now let's see. Yes. I'm in. Okay, so what else did I write this week? I suppose I should get back on topic after getting sidetracked by shitcoins, as it always happens, especially during this cycle of the market when there are so many people putting out shitcoins and there are lots of shitcoins making comebacks, and it's going to blow up at some point, and it's going to be nasty for the average Joe who invested in these shitcoins thinking that they're going to get rich fast. If it was so simple, I suppose everyone would be rich, but that's a paradox because somebody needs to lose for somebody to gain something. But at the same time, when the government keeps on printing money, well, I suppose it doesn't make as much sense anymore. It's not a zero-sum game. Everyone can make money, and everything is going to get more expensive as there's more money flooding the market. So another article that I wrote is called "Can't Withdraw to Your Own Wallet, It's Not Your Bitcoin." And this starts from an old saying that we had around the community, which said, "Not your keys, not your Bitcoin." So if you're not, finally, I can finally shoot these lasers. If you're not controlling your own keys, if the bitcoins are not in your own wallet, then it means that the coins are not yours, which is a simple principle, really. It makes a lot of sense. It's like something that's not in your own wallet, in your own possession, is not really yours. If you think about government money that you have, if it's in the bank, you're going to need like a week or something before you can withdraw everything from your account. And this means that, you know, if you need a third party to withdraw and to allow you to get all of your money back, it means that it's no longer yours. You have to justify how you're spending it and talk to the bank manager and, you know, tell them what you're going to be doing with your money. And it should not be like this. If it's your own money, you should be allowed to do everything that you want and take the consequences for it. If you're doing something nasty or you're hurting some other people, you're going to support the consequences. But at the same time, it's, you know, money is your work and your energy and your input. It should not be controlled by somebody else in the sense that they can tell you what you can do and what you cannot do with it when you can buy something. It's like being a 10-year-old and having your parents take away your allowance because they think you're going to buy candy. And there's somebody out there, like there's a government and there's a central bank telling you you're not allowed to buy more than $10 worth of candy, or else we're going to block your account. It doesn't make much sense, you know, you're supposed to be a responsible adult and start your own life and figure out what's good for you and what works and what defines your economic behavior. But I have sidetracked a bit. The article that I wrote was more of a response to the fact that you can buy Bitcoin on platforms like PayPal and Revolut and N26, I think. So they have enabled you to buy Bitcoin from them directly. But the problem is that they never allow you to withdraw the coins. So if you can have it in your wallet on that platform, but you cannot take it outside of that platform, how can you prove that they actually have it? How can you prove that it's actually yours? Like, maybe that they're going to say, yeah, you have this legal document which says that you own this amount, but there's nothing that you can do with it. All you can do is buy it from them and then sell it. So you play the speculation game with them. You cannot take it out to your own wallet. You cannot use it for other purposes outside of what they allow you to do with it. It's a custodial kind of situation, which is not very different from keeping your money with a bank. But with Bitcoin, you're not supposed to be doing this. The whole point of this currency is to make you sovereign and keep you in charge of your funds at all times. So when you buy from Revolut or from eToro or from Robinhood or from, let me think of some other examples. PayPal, that's also a big one. You can buy Bitcoin on PayPal, but it's never yours. It's always theirs. They can control it, they can seize it, they can do whatever they want with it, and there's nothing you can do about it. They can just say at some point that you no longer hold any Bitcoins because they stop supporting it. And consequently, they're going to credit your account with the corresponding amount of fiat. And maybe that you did not want to sell. Maybe you wanted to hold it. So how are you going to mitigate this situation? Well, the best kind of solution for this is to never buy from them in the first place. Just buy from a place which provably has the Bitcoins and is actually legit from this point of view, as opposed to some kind of business that's going to screw you at some point. You never know when there's going to be a decision which confiscates your coins. It happened to gold in the United States, and we like to say that the United States is the best country in terms of protecting private property, but they did confiscate all gold holdings in 1933. I think it was Executive Order 6102, if you want to look it up. But it became forbidden for you to own gold at that point, and gold was like the reserve currency. And their way of dealing with the financial crisis at the time was to compromise everyone's savings in gold and make them exchange to US dollars. And maybe that they did not want to exchange to US dollars. It's your own money, you're supposed to have the freedom to do whatever you want with it. But this happens from time to time with governments when they overreach their mandate and they think they're godlike and nobody can stop them. And if they decree, they make some sort of political decision in some respect that something is going to happen, they think that they can enact it, and just because they are in a position of power and they have some control over you with means of information, with education, with the military, which is monopolized by the government, they think that they can do all sorts of stuff to you, and that should not be the norm. Maybe that there are exceptional situations where you can argue that you can do something for the greater good, but it should be your choice, not your government's. It's your money, they should convince you, not steal from you. They should give you reasons, like create some sort of system of incentives and rewards if you do something, but not coerce you into doing something. And that's the whole point also with Bitcoin, and it took so many years for us to get this form of money. And I have to disappoint a lot of people when I say that it's not, you know, part of the cashless society. It's not really fintech meaning financial technology innovation. It has some of its innovations, but at the same time the idea of Bitcoin has been, you know, not necessarily under this form, not as an internet currency. But there's such a long history of non-governmental money. Okay, so I got to the boss. I feel like I was a lot faster this time around, or maybe that this dungeon was easier than the previous one. So let me see how I can damage it, because it has these layers of angry clouds. Are they clouds? I'm not really sure. But I'm supposed to hit during that one moment. So I move around, I try to hit it. How did I lose that health point? Maybe that the hook that I got is going to help me. Yeah, so this is what it does. The hook removes clouds from it, and it becomes more vulnerable momentarily. Maybe that I can destroy the clouds. Or maybe not. But it creates an opening, so there's this one moment when it's vulnerable, so I need to remove like 3 or more clouds. Actually, I cannot remove more than 2, as it seems. This is still an interesting boss, because it's not typical in the approach. You're not just going to hit it 50 times and then that's it. But you have to time your movements and figure out some sort of strategy. So what should I do here? I can remove parts of its shield, but it can take them back. So this is interesting. It can take back parts of its shield, so I need to remove them from edges of the screen or something. How do I beat this? Like, I can think of shooting arrows to the eye. No, these clouds are blocking it. So maybe that it's also a good idea to put some bombs in place and get ready for... No, it did not work as I planned, so I need to get closer. No. Or maybe, just maybe, I can get very close. No, it doesn't get hit like that. And look at me, I lost so much of my health bar. Okay, so what's the plan? I'm supposed to remove parts of it with the hook. Oh, I can destroy them with the sword. Okay. This is easy, actually, once you figure out. So once you destroy all parts of the shield, this organic cloud-like shield is going to become a lot more vulnerable. But as I can see right now, it's also getting faster as you destroy layers of the shield. Okay, I should be good to go now. I'm stuck in the corner. No, I want to get the Master Sword attack, so let me backtrack a bit. One of my friends is online playing Mario Kart 8. I haven't played Mario Kart in months. How do they hurt me? Sometimes it seems like they hurt me and other times they don't. The shield is still strong enough to block all attacks. Why does it do that? Like, I try so hard to stay away. After I beat this boss, I'm gonna talk about that other event that happened this week. And I'm not sure if I'm done with the discussion about these custodians. Like, it should be your own money, you should use it for whatever purpose. Stay away from PayPal, stay away from Revolut if you can. I know that it's very convenient to buy from your account directly. And it's very likely that you use these financial services, and they are very popular. But if it's about Bitcoin, stay away. It's not supposed to be a custodial experience. You're not getting the real kind of experience with custodians, so... Okay, so it cannot be hurt by this attack. So I assume it's arrows, but even in this situation it blocks arrows. So let me grab the last one. Oh, so it returned and now it's more aggressive. Maybe that I should use arrows now. Oh, so it can only get hit by the sword. And then it's coming back. It's not the easiest boss in the game, but it's not the hardest either. Like, it doesn't have strong attacks, but you need to figure out what it does. Okay. How many hits do you think it takes? This has been like 5 or 6. Just one more. Oh yeah, I love this pose. So let's head to the next dungeon. Of course, there's some sort of fairy inside. Oh no, don't apologize for bringing up that topic. But let me read the text first. Because of you I can escape from the clutches of the evil monsters, thank you. The Triforce will grant wishes of whoever touches it as long as that person lives. This is why it was hidden in the Golden Land, only a select few knew of its location, but at some point that knowledge was lost. The person who rediscovered the Golden Land was Ganondorf, the evil thief. Luckily, he couldn't figure out how to return to the light world. Well, remember that you have magical powers which only the hero can make the most of. There are some other magical warping points like the one you saw on Death Mountain. By using them, you can go between the two worlds and find the evils hidden in the dark world. So now I know that it's called the light world and the dark world. I used to call it the upside down or the link to the past. You are the only one who can destroy Ganondorf, the thief. No. Thief? No, what's that? Ganon, the evil king of darkness. Do you understand? I've learned my lesson. Unless I want to get the exact same text all over again, I have to say that I do understand, even if I did not. May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce. That's a nice play of words. Nice reference to Star Wars. This was released in 1991, so it was after Star Wars. It was after the original trilogy, actually. So where to? If I were to follow them in order, I would have to go to the woods for number 3. So I suppose that's the one that we are doing. There's a reason why there's an order, so I'm not going to argue against it. Oh no. I actually have to go up. So on the question about a gaming YouTube channel, I'm actually working on a magazine, not a YouTube channel. I don't really have enough time to edit and manage a YouTube channel, but I'm fairly good at writing, so I can write articles, I can collaborate with people who do the graphics, and figure out what happens after. You know, it kind of sucks that this doesn't really have RPG elements, so that you can gain some experience or something. These trees are evil, they're launching bombs, so I should avoid. How how do I get there? So I go down and take the left or west. Okay. So I went up instead of going west. Isn't it nice that you get to destroy flowers in this game? You destroy flowers, you destroy bushes, you destroy pots, everything pottery that you can pick up. You throw it away and smash it into pieces. Yeah, this is the way. Let's see what happens in this place. Oh, it's like a mini game. Well, howdy, Light World there. You look like a straight shooter. Want to try your skill in my shooting gallery? I'll give you 5 shots for 20 rupees. If you're as sharp as I think you are, you stand to rake in the rupees. So I'm supposed to aim for the second row, I guess, or whatever that is. He's beating that drum. Ah, I missed. I missed 2 of them. So I paid how much? This is a good way to test your skill while making some rupees. I wish I was making bitcoins instead. I missed all of them this time. So let me make back. This is like the gambler's fallacy. If I try again, if I put enough time into this, then I'm going to succeed, right? That's how gambling works. I got 4 rupees, 8 rupees. This one got blocked. This was one delayed and came too late. I'm out of arrows. No, never mind. I think I can hunt some monsters or something. Look, I just made 2 rupees. Just like that. I'm better off just hunting. So the way should be up, not to the left. Yeah, this is not the right way. I'm supposed to go up from here. Also, I have a video game magazine that's coming. I think I wrote like 3 or 4 articles for it. It's not finished. I think by the end of the month I will finish all the articles. But, you know, I'm trying. And I hope that the graphics will be done so that I can offer something nice. I'll make it available for free for everyone who wants to read it. I'm not sure if there will be any monetization scheme in place. I do it mostly as a hobby, so I'll try to put all the passion in it, as if there is no pressure and no money and nothing else involved except for fun, like it should be. I'm getting my ass kicked here. I'm not sure if there's going to be an article about this game, because I need to beat it first, but we shall see. Another article that I wrote this week, and I'm happy that I did, concerns the fact that I managed to add the Bitcoin Takeover podcast that you can listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and Google Podcasts and pretty much every platform which stole my RSS feed. You can listen to it for free there, but now there's also this great application for podcasting which is called Podcast Library or something like that. I should double check before speaking, but I haven't put too much thought into it. But no, it's Podcast Index. So I've just remembered it's podcastindex.com. And it enables for you to basically become more censorship resistant. I think that's why it was created, because there are lots of series that were removed from, for example, Spotify for whatever reason. So it gives an alternative to store your RSS feed and gain an audience. And it has lots of deals with applications on Android and iOS and lots of other platforms. So people who use, for example, the Breeze Bitcoin wallet, which also works with the Lightning Network and opens a channel for you, and also the users of, what do you call it, Sphinx, which is an application that works with the Lightning Network. A very nice young lady at the Waterfall of Wishing in the hills where the river begins. Should you meet her at least once, I'll tell you you'll like her. My son really liked to play the flute but went to look for the golden power and has not returned. I wonder where he is and what he's doing now. I think I'm going to that flute player in the woods. I'm not very sure, but I think that's what it is up there. Anyway, my podcast got added on all of these nice applications, which means that I have a higher potential audience. And sometimes if the listener chooses to, they can also send small tips to me via the Lightning Network. So just small Bitcoin payments that they make as a way of saying thank you or something. And I think I've received like $2 worth of payments this week from people who randomly listened. And I appreciate it, you know. It's kind of a big deal to have your content listed on as many databases and indexes as possible. This means that there are lots of users who can find it and discover it and find parts of it that they like and consume the content that they find most interesting. So, tautology aside, I think this is kind of the best news for my podcast that I could have had. I mean, I'm not complaining. I still had thousands of listeners last year, and it was doing fine with Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but at the same time it could have been better, and any improvement is welcome. So I'm not sure why I'm looking for rupees anymore. I found that fairy, it restored my health points. Let's see if I can get to the treasures in this den. Yeah, so nothing's changed. I'm supposed to come from some other place. There's another entrance to this dungeon. It's not really a dungeon, it's more like a cave. I really like this attack, it's very useful and doesn't consume any resources. So which way? This way to the Lost Woods. So let's go to the Lost Woods and see what happens. I think I messed up, so I need to go back to where I left the portal. Because when I press the button to use the mirror, it doesn't work, so I think I forgot how the mirror actually works, so I'm gonna have to backtrack all the way back to where I started. So let me get angry by throwing and smashing this sign and get back. Will the magazine be in digital or physical format? I think at first it will be digital, and depending on the reaction and the reception to that, I'm going to figure out if there is demand for something else. I don't have really high expectations at this point, and I don't want to make promises, so I'd rather surprise people with something nice than promise too much and deliver a lot less. But I'm going to do my best to see if there's a reason to print a few issues. I'm also thinking about creating some sort of magazine for Bitcoin in Romania, but I need to put more thought into it, figure out what the audience wants. I've already translated a book which has all the information, so I need to find out what people want to read about. Because when you commit to buying a magazine, you do it because you find useful information, but what is that information, really? I write articles kind of 5 days a week and still don't know what's popular and why. I just write what I think and what I consider is relevant, and I'm kind of happy that most of the clicks that I get come from search engines. So that's really good, actually, as I don't have to rely on social media promotion and stuff like that. If I only relied on social media, I guess that would have been the worst case. One day without promoting could mean that I don't get any more clicks. But I'm doing well on search engines. Maybe that the years that I spent writing in various places have helped me polish my writing to the point that Google and DuckDuckGo and Bing rank my articles a little higher. And I don't even optimize them for SEO. Like, there are people who purposely optimize their content to do well on search engines. And this means that they write short sentences and they use the keyword a certain number of times and stuff like that. I don't do it like on purpose because it takes away the creativity and the style. It's no longer fun if you write according to a benchmark. Maybe that some people like it, I don't, but if the stuff that I write performs well, even if I don't force it, I'm happy. Hashtag humble brag. I just spent like 10 minutes bragging about how well I do on search engines. But I like writing. It keeps my brain busy, and I come up with all sorts of ideas every day. Sometimes I wish I could keep up with my train of thought. Like, I get all of these ideas for stuff that I should write, but most of the times don't really complete. I suppose it's common for people to have lots of plans and not be able to complete most of them. This was the worst of situations. I got hit twice. So I'm gonna have to grind for 2 more hearts. Get the rupees. You never know when you need them. From this point of view, I feel like the economy in this game is a bit broken because you accumulate lots of rupees, but I haven't found any shops where I can spend them. I mean, I did find a few of them, but not enough. You do a lot of grinding for them and you pick them up, but you don't have too many uses for them. Yeah, so I guess I'm gonna go this way, around the castle. This one hit me 3 times. You're very vulnerable in this game, even when you get stronger. You get more hearts, but it's so easy to get hit. And I think that the number of enemies increases as you get stronger. Look at me, I just lost 4 hearts there. I'm gonna die soon. Unless... I even discovered a bomb in the bushes and walked on it. I like the music in this game, but it can get so repetitive. I suppose this wasn't a top complaint in 1991, when most games had looping music over and over. But I wish there was more to this. So I complained about the lack of shops. I think I just found one. Let's see what I can buy with my 851 rupees. Oh, not much. So I can get another heart. Do I have bombs? I have like 20 of them. I don't feel like I have a reason to spend on bombs. And this pot right here, what does it do? Let's see, I can't sell the merchandise because you don't have an empty bottle. Okay, so I have a bottle here, but I keep 2 fairies in it, so there's no extra room. Or I suppose I have 2 different bottles that keep fairies inside. Well, I appreciate your comment, Quantum. I have no idea how to respond to that, but... You know, there's no point in doing something unless you put some passion into it. If it feels stale or... I don't know, sometimes my criterion for doing something is to not make it feel like a job. If it feels like a job, that's when it stops being fun. So ideally you should work and do stuff for fun and not make it feel like you're making an effort. I wish I knew how to get this heart, but I think there's another way around it. Maybe there's a hook shot somewhere. But I need to be on the same level. Let's see what else is happening here. You look like you might have an interesting destiny, may I tell your fortune? I'll make it cheap. Okay? How cheap are you? I'm testing you, Mr. Cloak. Abracadabra Alakazam, the true hero, will jump into the well near the Smitty's shop. Now I'll take 10 rupees. I hope you'll be healthy. Eehaha. So there's a well in the Smitty's shop. Oh, he also recovered my health points, so I suppose it was well worth it. Now, I need to go all the way to the left. Or west, or call it what you want. Okay, so now I go down, or south, and west. So I wasted all of this time in the light world, even though I could not actually get to the dungeon like this. Oh, look at this guy playing the flute. I suppose that he is a ghost and he died. His grandfather or something is in the village, waiting for some news in the bar. Oh, I can get rupees from the trees if I smash into them. This is good to know. So I suppose that only those two trees, not freeze, had rupees that I could get. I'm not complaining, I made some money. I'm gonna use it for cocaine and hookers, or whatever is the equivalent in Legend of Zelda, A Link to the Past. Potions and lap dances from Princess Zelda. Okay, so there is this rock which blocks my way, and I cannot pick it up. So instead of going this way, I have to go around. So how do I go around? Maybe that I can go to dungeon number 5 or 6 instead of pursuing number 3. Like, for the sake of doing them in the right order, I can do this, but there's something blocking my way. And there's no way for me to go up. So maybe that it would be wise to go to number 6. Famous last words before dying. Maybe it would be wise to go to number 6. Because I don't see another way here. Yeah, it's a dead end from here on. So let's see what this dark world has in store for us. I go all the way to the right. Or do I? How do I get there? Wait, so I'm here and I'm supposed to go to number 6, and I need some sort of opening to get there. So I came from number 2, which was down here, and I want to go, so that's number 5. This is where number 1 was. I've started from this pyramid, which is like the beginning. I cannot go to number 7. So can I go to number 5? I'm here. I walk all the way to the right. And I need to get in water or something. Okay, let me try. What's the worst that can happen? I just go all the way to the right and then up and right again. Or maybe that there's some sort of cave opening which takes me to number 6. I hate this. I mean, I don't feel like I should complain about the controls, but they're not the best either. Like, the handling is not ideal. It can be a bit slippery. For its time, I guess it's excellent. But I still prefer the controls in Super Mario World, which is from a different genre, but that one feels so responsive. This one, you can struggle a bit. I think also Super Metroid has better controls. So, the main question is, should I approach it from the upper side or from the lower side? Let me try the lower side first because it's the closest. I just walk this way. This is like a canyon. That's a Cyclops. This way to the bomb shop, it says. Yeah, so I want to go down from here. Watch me swim. So this is the dungeon, but I have no idea how I can get inside the walls. Strange. I can use my hook shot to get to various places, but I need to be on the same level even if this is two-dimensional. And it seems like I could get anywhere from every spot. That's not really how it works. So I suppose I'm gonna head back. But let's see what else is around here. I've never known whether or not these are rocks or dog heads. Like, if you look at them, they look like dog heads. Like they're puppies swimming. Let me try that other approach. Yeah, so this is the first dungeon. I beat this already. I have no other reason to be here other than the fact that I'm lost. I have no idea how to return to an actual dungeon. And I suppose I will end the episode as soon as I figure out how to get to one dungeon. And start next week from the dungeon that I can actually access. And something that I like about Zelda games in general is that they allow you to do so much exploration. It's not the kind of exploration that I like all the time. Like, I hate feeling like I don't know what I should be doing, and I only have some pinpoints but no idea how to get there. But still, it's something. So maybe that at this palace I'm going to find some, I don't know, maybe some portal that can help me. So it looks like something that can get bombed, but it can't. Anyway, if you have never listened to the Bitcoin Takeover podcast, I feel like you really should. And not just because it's my project and I have been working on it, but I've had such great guests, and depending on your field of interest, you can find out more about how to better secure your Bitcoins, how to approach second layers in terms of philosophy, how how sidechains work, and a lot of useful information about all sorts of stuff, from philosophy to politics to practical matters about your security to privacy. There are lots of layers that I was able to cover and uncover with the guests, and I put a lot of work into it. I hope that it's a huge and nice collection of information. I'm not saying that all episodes are equally great, even though I'm not allowed to discriminate between the guests, but I can also say that I was not always in my best shape, and sometimes I've asked the dumbest questions, but it's part of the process. The essential part sometimes when creating something is to keep going and not try to set benchmarks, because it's impossible to keep up with your own standards especially when you have guests. So you can't expect one episode to be just as great as the other, especially if you have different people involved and invited. But as you go, it only gets better, and you get more confident, and if there is any kind of advice that I can give to anyone who wants to create anything, just keep going. Like, you're supposed to suck when you first start out. You're supposed to have people who discourage you and tell you that you're not going to make it. And it's supposed to be a waste of money in the beginning, unless you get very lucky. Don't expect to get any kind of results the first couple of years maybe. I've also started this live stream which takes place on every Sunday around this time. And so far, it's not very successful. If you're watching this, then you're very early, and most people will be coming along the way when this gets cooler and more interesting. Not saying that this is not interesting, but maybe that I come up with a better concept in time. But still, it's gonna take until it catches on and it gets an audience. I hope that I get to have guests on this show. It'll be interesting to have guests and have conversations just like in podcasts, but with somebody else. That would also help me focus more on the game and be more coherent when I speak. And, have somebody who... Wait, so what does the shield do? You don't need that item, so yeah. Goodbye. I don't know where I'm going right now. So the hint that I received from the fairy when I beat that boss was that there are lots of points around the map where you find portals. So I'm supposed to be searching specifically for these points, which take me to the light world. What does the sign say? Lake of Free Omen? I wonder what the Lake of Two Omen looks like. Anyway, this is a bigger game than it actually seems like. And I miss the times when you would get a complete game from day one. Maybe that they had additional maps and packs that you could buy afterwards with expansions. But the game was finished. It did not require bug fixes and patches and stuff like that. They knew that they only had one chance. They had to ship it in a final form. Curses to anyone who throws something into my circle of stones. Let's see what happens if I get cursed. Where's the circle of stones? No, that's not it. I suppose that this is the circle of stones. And I have awoken some sort of beast. Was it you who disturbed my peaceful nap? I'll give this to you if you go away. Okay. This is the Quake Medallion. Its magic causes the ground to shake and defeats nearby enemies. Watch your magic meter. Okay. So if you do the exact opposite of what it says, you're always going to get something. This is like an unwritten rule in video games. So the fact that I got here, which is like the edge of the screen, and I'm supposed to find the entrance to dungeon number 7 here, has helped me get that item. Interesting. So where's the entrance to the dungeon? I suppose that there's an item which helps me swim against the river flow. Upstream, I think that's the right term. Swim upstream. During a live stream. Do a stream when you swim upstream. Say that fast 3 times. Do a stream while you swim upstream. Do a stream while you swim upstream. Do a stream while you swim upstream. That's not easy. It's quite a tongue twister. Okay, I don't have a dungeon right now. I'm supposed to find one. And I'm supposed to start from one next time when I do a live stream. Next week. As I said, this is the second episode this week. Only because last week it was Easter. And I decided to spend time with my family and did not do a live stream. So I did it on Monday, and you had 2 of them this week. There was one on Monday and one today on Sunday. But starting next week, I'm going to get back to the regular schedule. So only on Sunday around 8 PM Central European Time. Nope, nothing happening here. Let's see how far I can swim. there used to be a bridge here, so maybe this is the solution. I use the hook to get to the other side. See, I needed to swim to figure out the solution for this. This is why the game is so legendary and so great. It pushes you to explore beyond what you would usually do to solve even the simplest of problems. So this is a broken bridge. I'm supposed to use the hook. But I can't, because reasons. So there needs to be like a connection, a bridge or something. This is where the swimming ends. So what can I do here? Okay, this was it. Now I'm on the other side. This will help me get to dungeon number 3 because I crossed the roadblock. I feel like this was pretty smart. I'm not happy that I've wasted like 30 minutes walking around trying to figure out what to do. But this game really uses your brain power sometimes. Or at least your instincts as an explorer. Okay, so where to next? This is like a graveyard, blah blah blah. I have to walk straight ahead and get to the 3rd dungeon, which is in the dark woods. Is this a graveyard? More like a temple. I'm gonna be back here, I guess. I don't think there's anything in this game that's pointless. Everything was placed with a reason, which I'm going to find out later. So to the right is the way to the cave. Oh right, the cave. And it takes me up the mountain or something. If I remember correctly, there was a power-up that I could get on the mountain if I had all the power-ups and the Master Sword, because that was essential. So let's sidetrack a bit and go into the cave. Hey, I'll tell you a profitable story if you pay me 20 rupees. I almost maxed it out. I think the most you can get is 999, so why not? Thank you. To tell you the truth, I found incredible beauty inside the pyramid. But someone sealed the door. You can't do anything with a standard bomb, they say. So that's it? There's something inside the pyramid, but I cannot open it with a bomb. Let's go on. Let's move. See what else is here. So the entrance is actually here. This was more like a side cave or something. Okay, challenge accepted. This looks like an arrow, like it's telling you, you go this way. I'm always fascinated with how they design the levels. They leave lots of small hints. Look at how easy you can die. I had a full health, and when these dinosaur birds hit me, no, I'm not happy with the result. I feel like I could do so much better. There's another friend who's playing Hollow Knight. It's always interesting, you know, on these new generation consoles when they tell you what your friends are playing. That's not good for privacy, but I'll give you a piece of heart to the person who wears the cape. What cape? So there are 2 holes in which I can fall. Since I can rewind, let me try them both and see where they get me. This one takes me to the entrance. And this one also takes me to the entrance, so it's a bad idea to use either. Now I use the hook. It's also great to unlock different skills as you go. So I'm supposed to fall down. And this took me to the level below. Or is it above? So maybe I need to fall down this hole. Same result. So where do I go from here? Can I blow up any walls? Like there's an external door to the cave. I don't have a map for this, so I don't know. But the more I play this game, the more I feel like I respect it. So I'm back to the first floor. Not sure if this was the right entrance. It looks like it. So let's see what the sign says. I'll give a piece of heart to the person who wears the cape. What cape, what heart? I guess that's one of the hearts. Something interesting about this game is that you can get lost while knowing where you are on the map. Because you're supposed to be using some other way to get to your destination. Yeah, so there's nothing that I need to buy from here. Let's see on the map where I am. So I'm close to the edge, but I'm very near the third dungeon, and this should be my destination, right? I've entered the Dark Woods. Here you're not going to find the exact precise location, you know, display, so you never know where you are in the Dark Woods, except that you are in the Dark Woods. I should not talk so much. But it's interesting that it's randomized, so when I rewinded, the monster was no longer in the bushes. I am very happy about the music change. It's a pleasant surprise to not hear that overworld theme over and over. I need to make my way through the woods. I came in this way. I honestly have no idea where the dungeon is, but okay, so the Dark Woods are actually smaller than I estimated. I think it was very memorable in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild when you first get your Master Sword and you walk through the Dark Woods and you feel completely lost and you can get stuck in a loop if you're not careful. But when you finally find the sword, and I don't know, it's such a memorable moment. Feels like even though you knew what you should be expecting, it still felt like you discovered something major. And from this point of view, I think Nintendo does such a good job with their franchises. Especially Zelda, which I think is their benchmark for quality. With Mario, they were kind of hit or miss sometimes. They have a few bad games. But with Zelda, the only bad ones are the ones that were not made for Nintendo systems. So on the Philips CDI, which was kind of a mistake on their behalf. The fact that it happened and they allowed it to happen. So maybe that I'm supposed to use the hook to drag me across these regions. So how about... No, I'm supposed to be higher up. Got any ideas? If you do, let me know in the comments. Preferably on YouTube, because I'm not following the stream on my Twitter. And I'm also not active on Twitch, I just post it there. I'm not planning to become a Twitch partner. I think it's a bit silly to accept their bribe in exchange for becoming an exclusive poster to their platform. Nothing in the bushes. There must be another entrance. Okay, so I guess this is the dungeon. Yeah, so I'm gonna save here. Let me rewind to the point where I had full health. And I'm gonna continue next week from here. Wait, how do I say it? Like this. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week when we get to talk more about what's going on with Bitcoin, what I have been writing, and what this third dungeon has in store for us. So there are 7 of them. I guess that's like at least 4 more weeks of Zelda. Maybe 5 or 6 depending on how long it takes to beat Ganon. But thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next week.